You ever have one of those brilliant ideas? A huge dream, a crystal clear vision of the life you want, but then you just find yourself completely stuck? If you're someone who feels totally filled with ambition but is just paralyzed when it's time to act, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to dive deep into the psychology behind this internal tug of war and, way more importantly, how to finally win.
And man, is this feeling frustrating. It's like you can see the finish line, but the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels like a giant canyon. You tell yourself, okay, tomorrow will be different. But then tomorrow comes, and it's the same old story. If this sounds even a little bit familiar, I promise you, you are not alone in this.
Let's just walk through the cycle, right? It always starts in the morning. You wake up, you've got the best intentions. Today is the day you're finally going to start that project. You're going to write that chapter or make that important call. The motivation feels real, the plan is clear in your head, and for a minute you feel this amazing surge of hope.
But then reality hits. You think, I'll just check my phone for a minute. And we all know how that goes. That 1 minute bleeds into an hour of just mindlessly scrolling. Before you even know it, half the day is totally gone. You tell yourself, okay, I'll start after lunch. But now you're feeling kind of tired, a little unfocused. You find literally anything else to do, except that one thing you know you should be doing.
And then finally, night comes. You're lying in bed, and that familiar wave of guilt and disappointment just washes over you. Another day gone. You promise yourself with this fierce resolve that tomorrow will be different. But this pattern, this whole cycle, it's been going on for a while, hasn't it?
So what is actually going on here with this cycle of guilt and avoidance? Well, the key is to understand that this isn't about you just being lazy. It's a really common psychological paradox that traps millions of smart, talented people.
And listen, this is the most crucial point. You know you are capable of so much more. This has nothing to do with your intelligence or your potential. It's all about the patterns your brain has built up over time. And you know what the good news is? If a pattern was built, it can be rewired.
So to change the pattern, we've got to understand it first. Let's get under the hood and break down the psychology of why you do what you do, especially when you desperately don't want to be doing it. See, this inaction comes from a constant battle that's happening inside your mind. On one side, you've got the ambitious you, the part that dreams about goals, success, and creating things. But on the other side, you have your ancient survival brain, and its mission is super simple. Avoid discomfort and seek whatever is easy and safe. And for a lot of us, that survival brain is winning, big time. Your brain literally sees hard work with all its uncertainty and potential for failure as a kind of threat. So it offers you an easy escape. Scroll on your phone, watch another video. And when you take that escape route, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine as a reward. It learns that avoiding the hard thing feels good, right now. So this isn't laziness, it's your brain stuck in survival mode. And this avoidance is usually driven by two powerful fears that are hiding in plain sight. First up, perfectionism. Now, this isn't really about having high standards. It's fear wearing a fancy costume. It's that little voice that says, I can't start until everything is absolutely perfect. And second, there's the fear of failure. It just feels safer to live in the fantasy of what you could do than to actually try and risk finding out you're not quite there yet.
Okay, so if we know the problem is how our brain is wired, how in the world do we fix it? Well, the answer is shifting our focus away from that unreliable feeling of motivation to something much, much more powerful: discipline. Here's the core issue, right? We wait to feel like doing the work, but motivation is just an emotion. And you know how emotions are. They're fickle. They come and go. People who are truly successful don't have some secret, endless supply of motivation. They have something else entirely. They have discipline. And here is the most empowering part of all of this. Discipline is not some personality trait you're born with. It is a skill. Think of it like a muscle that you build through practice, by taking action even when and especially when you don't feel like it. So how do we actually build that muscle? It's time to stop diagnosing the problem and start taking action. This section is all about a clear, practical toolkit that you can start using literally today. These are the 4 pillars for breaking that cycle for good. Each one is a tool that's specifically designed to counteract your brain's natural urge to avoid discomfort. Let's break them down, starting with the most important one. First, you have to start impossibly small. Your perfectionism wants you to change your entire life overnight, and that is just overwhelming, so ignore it. Instead, just commit to 15 minutes. Seriously, anyone can do 15 minutes. The goal isn't some massive result. The goal is just to prove to your brain that you can start. Consistency builds habits, and habits are what build a life.
Second, you have to design your environment for focus. Look, this is a design problem, not a willpower problem. You need to make the thing you want to do the easiest option. Put your phone in another room. Tidy up your desk. Turn off all those notifications. You have to remove the temptations so you don't have to waste energy fighting them in the first place.
Third, and this is a hard truth, you need to stop consuming and start executing. Watching videos about productivity, reading articles about success, it all feels like you're making progress, but a lot of the time it's just a really sophisticated form of procrastination. You probably don't need more information. You just need to act on the information you already have.
And finally, practice self-compassion. I mean it. Beating yourself up after you've wasted a day doesn't help at all. It actually makes the problem worse by reinforcing that cycle of shame. When you fall off track, and you will, we all do, the goal isn't to spiral. It's to just acknowledge it, forgive yourself, and get back on track as quickly as you possibly can.
So, what does this all really mean? It means we have to completely redefine our relationship with failure. The real enemy here isn't failing. It's not even trying. Inaction is the true opposite of success. Every single time you fail, you learn something valuable. But when you do nothing, you learn nothing.
Look, ambition without action is really just a fantasy. You spent enough time dreaming, it is time to start building. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Forget about tomorrow and forget about the perfect plan. What is the one impossibly small action you are going to take today?